So the next concept I'm going to have us look at is this great Venn diagram. The idea here is that when you're looking to figure out what climate action you should take, you have these three factors to bear in mind. What needs doing, what you're good at, and what brings you joy. And if you can find climate action that fits in the middle of this Venn diagram, then that's a recipe for fulfilling, meaningful, sustained climate action. So the 4 roles of social change tool hopefully gave you a push in the right direction in all three of these circles. I mean, there's stuff that needs doing in all of those roles, and the role you're attracted to is probably going to be the one you feel most capable at, or the one that brings you the most joy. Now, there might be a delicate balance here. When new folks come to 350 PDX, I ask them about their skills. And people might say, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a web developer, I'm a carpenter. But before I say, great, okay, here's a job for you, I always try and remember to check in, because some folks might do graphic design all day, and the last thing they want to do in the evening is more graphic design. Instead they want to get as far away from a computer as possible and, maybe do some direct action instead. But some people absolutely love putting their skills to use for the movement. So just something to bear in mind, that you don't have to do the stuff you're good at if it's not bringing you joy. Another way of thinking about the what you're good at bubble is thinking about your leverage. So where do you have the greatest leverage to make climate action happen? Maybe you have a job where you can influence some big policy changes, or you're an influential member of your church or an organization you're involved with, or your university, or you're a big member of the local punk scene, or you have some rich family members you could tap, or you're available in the weekdays when most people aren't. All of this is stuff that you can factor in when trying to figure out where your most effective and fulfilling campaign action will be. Okay, so you'll be able to answer for yourselves what you're good at and what brings you joy pretty well. But the one that you might need help answering is what work needs doing. So I've tried to lay it out here a little bit. So within 350 PDX, one of the main things we need folks to do is show up and take action. So coming to protests, signing petitions, phoning commissioners, giving testimony, writing letters to the editor, donating to the movement, all that stuff. And beyond that core action taking, there's a ton of other stuff you can be doing. So you could join one of our campaign teams where there's a big range of stuff happening all the time. So campaign planning, research and policy development, building coalitions, planning events, welcoming new people, making flyers, giving out flyers, knocking on people's doors, giving trainings, a bunch of stuff. And at 350 PDX, we recognize that we play just one role in a broader ecosystem of climate action. And there is tons of climate action to be done outside of 350 PDX. So that might be joining a different organization. It might be starting your own thing. It might be influencing your workplace or your church or your university or your neighborhood association. It might be changing careers. And, yes, there might be an element of personal behavior change climate action in there. But if you haven't watched my carbon handprint video in the People Power 101 section, you can check that out to hear my thoughts on personal behavior change climate action. So here's an example. Here's one version of my Venn diagram. Because I'm fortunate enough to have a job doing this work, and I spend a lot of time doing lots of different climate action, there's not just one right answer, but this is probably the one that resonates with me the most. My favorite thing to do is spending time with other climate activists, ideally in a pub, drinking beer and talking about their revolution. I love it. I think I'm also okay explaining concepts to new people. And I spend a ton of my free time reading books and taking trainings about movement stuff. So combining that with the work that needs doing has got me thinking that I should make this training series that you're watching right now, doing it, but that I should also complement that with some sessions in the pub. So for example, folks can watch People Power 101 during the week, and then Thursday night we all gather for drinks and talk about all the stuff we learned. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Watch this space. I'll get that together when I'm back from my holiday in probably August or September. So after you finish this video, I'd encourage you to take 5 minutes or longer to draw this out for yourselves and come up with some ideas for what climate action for you might find exciting, effective, even joyous. And I suppose this is a good time to note that my full-time job is the volunteer manager at 350 PDX, which means that one of my main roles is helping people who are thinking, I got to do something about climate change, by connecting them with meaningful and sustained climate action, whether that's in 350 PDX or beyond. And it also happens to be my favorite part of the job. So I offer at least a 30-minute virtual one-on-one with anyone who wants one, where we can talk about all these things. You can ask any questions that might come up here, or just say, I'm stuck and I don't know what to do. So I'll link to my scheduler below. I'd also love to see what Venn diagrams you come up with. So feel free to email them to me at chris@350pdx.org or with any other questions you might have.